Hello and welcome to the Newsmakers of the Month. I am Damien Carvalho, and today in our studios we have the esteemed presence of two distinguished gentlemen, Mr. Joe Noronha, the President, and Mr. Richard Pinto, the Secretary for the National Association for the Blind, Goa State. So, hello and welcome to our studios, sir. Firstly, I'd like both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us a little something about NAB Goa.
I am Joe Noronha, the President of National Association for the Blind, Goa State Branch. I worked with United Breweries Limited and was in Bangalore for 25 years and retired 12 years ago. After retiring, I came back to my hometown and happened to meet Mr. Rosane Mendonça, who was the president of NAB Goa. NAB is acronym for National Association for the Blind. And he narrated to me what they are doing at NAB Goa and invited me to the center. When I visited the center, I was taken aback and saw that they are doing a tremendous job for these people who require this help to be independent. And that is how I got involved with National Association for the Blind, Goa, as a committee member. And when Rosane relinquished his position 2 years back, the committee decided to make me the president for NAB Goa. And Rosane Mendonça is the President Emeritus.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction and the information about NAB. Richard, you please.
I am Richard Pinto and I am the Secretary of the National Association for the Blind for the last 7 years. I happen to be a hospitality expert. I have worked at Siddharth Goa, Donapaula, as the general manager, which is now a Taj property. I own my own institute of hotel management at one time and also have my own hotels. With regards to NAB, the National Association of the Blind, it was not just by chance. I happened to know this wonderful gentleman, Rosane Mendonça, who was the horticulturist at Siddharth Goa and did wonders there. He met me and he said to me, Richard, as a friend of mine, would you like to join the National Association for the Blind and be a member? I said, Rosane, I am not ready for it right now, and this was around 30 years ago. So he said, Richard, if there is anything that we need, as you are a friend, if there is some kind of financial requirement, would you be ready to help? I said, yes. And in a little way, I would help him in those 30 years, and I feel good to say that the first braille machine, which is the first app that we had for the benefit of learning and educating the blind children, was donated by me about 30 years ago.
Well, now that we know more about our guests and we also know a little bit about NAB, my first question to you all, sir, is what initiatives does NAB have in place, and how can one who is visually impaired right here in our Goan community avail of those initiatives?
I will take that and say that NAB Goa is open for all those with the disability of blindness. Whatever creed, caste, community they are from, there are no barriers. Anybody who has the disability certificate showing us that he is visually impaired or she is visually impaired, they are more than welcome to come. And our mission and objective at NAB is to make these visually impaired persons independent. When I say independent, I say that we start with mobility. Because of their lack of vision, we know that there is something known as a white cane, which enables them to get around wherever and move around in the marketplace, which is so crowded, because we teach them how to be mobile. We have our students who even go by public transport to their respective schools and colleges, and the starting point is there. Besides that, we believe in inclusive education. We do not confine these blind children to our center so that they are just amongst the blind. To the contrary, our policy is to get them admission in regular schools or colleges so that they can intermingle with the sighted persons, and in a way the sighted people also know how to deal with people who have visual impairment. So this is the starting point. They come back to our center where we have teachers to give them that extra support and guidance that they require so that they are well prepared for the classes the next day. So that is what we are presently doing at NAB.
My next question is, what are the most significant challenges faced by the visually impaired community here in Goa, and what is NAB doing to address them?
I will take that one. Challenges are challenges, and there are plenty of challenges that we have, especially when it comes to the visually impaired. It's easy for us to say, those who are sighted, to say, why are you making a mistake? But when it comes to our visually impaired, we have maximum challenges, and one of them to start with is the awareness, the lack of awareness. This challenge has become a very big challenge today because of the parents, to start with, who do not accept that their children are visually impaired and they need help. If they had to accept that, it would have been easier, and it could have been taken around through the village panchayats or through various other sources to inform people that there is someone to help you, called National Association for the Blind. But this challenge is going to be a tough one, and that is why we are here in the studio, which is for the awareness of people, for them to know that we are here from the National Association of the Blind to tell each one of you watching us, especially the visually impaired parents of the visually impaired, to tell the children that yes, there is someone to help you. The other one is the physical environment, and the other thing is that the private companies, the employers, they think that they will not be able to perform. But we have a lot of cases and examples where the visually impaired have been performing better than those who have sight. There is another thing which is theft and exploitation. The thing is that being visually impaired, people in society, in crowded places, can take advantage and commit theft, and that is are the main challenges that we have.
Thank you, Richard, for that insight. Another question that I would like to put forward is, digital literacy and empowerment is the norm these days. So what does NAB have in place to help the visually impaired in these genres of their life where they need this literacy and empowerment?
I think NAB has pioneered in digital literacy for the visually impaired. We have partnered with Enable India to set up a lab for digital literacy, and we have a syllabus in place for even the adult blind to go through the fundamentals of digital literacy. And after they perform this course, they are even certified after going through a rigorous examination, so that tomorrow when they go to employers, the employers will not be able to differentiate them from the sighted people. Talking about the digital literacy, if any of the viewers would like to know more and see for themselves, they are more than welcome to come to National Association for the Blind, which is located at Santa Cruz, very close to Panjim, where we have two of our teachers who are visually impaired themselves. They are 100% blind, but they are the ones who are teaching all these students computers, because these two teachers have gone through rigorous training program at Bangalore with Enable India, and they have now come and taking these batches. Moreover, all our other students who are also going to schools and colleges are also being given this digital literacy program. Today, we are preparing them to answer their exams also without the help of a scribe, which was something which they had to do in days gone by. We are proud to say that one of our students this year answered his SSC exams on computers and scored 80%, and he is 100% blind. So this is a great example for all the other people with the disability of blindness to know that if they come and do this digital literacy program with us, they will be able to not only stand on their own feet but get gainful employment with government organization or private organizations wherever they want.
In relevance to the answer that you just gave us, I have another question to follow. And my question to you is, you mentioned in your premises that you have teachers who are also visually impaired. So the question is, how does NAB Goa cater to inclusivity of such individuals either in your organization, and are there any initiatives in place where besides your organization they can be placed in other organizations?
NAB Goa believes in the philosophy of inclusivity, and that is the reason we have our children going into regular schools and colleges. Our teachers have gone through this program and have been gainfully employed with us, as well as they are the other teachers who were there with us prior to this. They have got different jobs and moved out into government organizations and private companies. So we presently have a system in place to share with all organizations, including government offices, that our people with visual impairment can do the job as well as the sighted person.
I visited your premises a couple of days ago, and I must say it was an honor and a privilege to see what I saw. In regard to that, I would like to ask you, Mr. Noronha, as well as Mr. Pinto, what are the facilities that you all have to offer at NAB Goa State?
We were doing this program. I requested you to come and see the premises for yourself, because seeing is believing. And when you saw the campus and you saw what work we are doing, you yourself mentioned that you would not have realized sitting in a studio what really happens and how we go about teaching the children with the disability of blindness. Because it is a wholesome experience that we are sharing with them. It's not just confined to academics. Besides the academics, we also have games for them, we have chess for them, we have music for them, we have dancing for them, and it's really nice to see the children enjoying and living life as normal beings despite their disability of blindness.
I would like to add here, besides what all we offer, if you look at the children, and you have seen them, Damien, there, it looks like it's a family. None of them behave as though they are visually impaired. The way they eat, they drink, and they do it all on their own. They are not served food. They serve their own food. They take the wash plates, their plates back to the washrooms and keep it there. They do everything on their own with the help of two wardens that we have also, a male warden and one for the girls, a female warden, who are there 24/7.
My next question to you all is very specifically to the computer courses that you all want the community of Goa, especially the visually impaired. We have about more than 5,000 visually impaired individuals in our community. And y'all, very specially at NAB Goa, are offering a specialized computer course for the visually impaired. Can you shed some light on this, please?
So, as I mentioned, Damien, we have a structured program in place for all the adult blind, so that it is broken up into two parts. One is the fundamentals, which is a 6-month course, and then there's the foundation course, which is a 1-year course. And this is with a proper syllabus which the teachers conduct. Besides the digital literacy, we also have other skills in that, which is communication skills and other skills that are required for them to function properly at the workplace. And this is precisely the reason we want to reach out to each and every person who has this disability of blindness in the state of Goa to come over to our center and avail of this facility. We do not charge a penny from any of our students. It is all taken care of by our benefactors, well-wishers, and companies who contribute through corporate social responsibility.
Mr. Noronha, this next question is personally directed to you. What motivates you as the president, and can you please share with us a few stories of your tenure as president for the NAB Goa?
I will go back to when I first visited NAB Goa and I saw the work that was being done and the joy and smile on the faces of these children down at NAB, because I attended a Diwali function which they were having, and they were singing and dancing like normal people, and I attributed this to the work of my founders who had set up this institute 42 years ago. In 1983, when they set it up, they did not have all these facilities, but they used to visit the homes of the visually impaired, and today we have reached a level where we are able to cater to them at one premise. And when I saw that these children grow up and are independent, I said, I'm retired, I have time at my disposal. What better way to, contribute and give back to society? Because it was very, very rewarding on seeing the joy and smile on the faces of the visually impaired. Coming to success stories, we have lots of them. One outstanding one which I would like to highlight is today, the Secretary of the Disability Commission is Mr. Taha Hazi, who was a student at NAB. Today he graduated, completed the UPSC exam, and is holding a position which everybody in the state of Goa are saying, how is it possible that a person with this disability of blindness can do so well? Likewise, we have other students also. I go back to a person who was from the 1983 batch, who became an entrepreneur, and he was making envelopes and bags and candles and even doing catering. He was employing people to do all his ventures. So it gives us great joy when we have these students coming back. When I say coming back, we had an alumni meet on 9th of February where we had 150 of our alumni who came to share what they are doing after their life at NAB. And believe me, it was so fascinating to see how they have contributed to the society.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing that with our viewers. Mr. Pinto, this question is for you. How has your experience been at NAB Goa as the secretary?
Well, I would say that my experience at NAB has not just been as a secretary, but has been very personal too. Because when I entered NAB and I saw these children, it brought tears into my eyes when I first saw them. Because as I said earlier, it's easy to have other disabilities, but being blind, you are actually blind to the world. And some of them have become blind after a certain age. And it's even worse for them because they know what it is not to be blind and see the world. My experience has been such that it became my first home at times, of course, most of the time a second home for sure. But to be with them, I used to feel blessed, because every child would say, when you entered, through the voice itself, they would say, Richard sir, good morning, good afternoon or good night. It was such a great feeling, because there are people who are sighted, but they wouldn't greet you as warmly in other places. And I always feel is one thing, wealth is not money, wealth is giving in service. And when we give in service, we have, it's our wealth, and we cannot carry money with us, but we can carry one thing which is wealth, and that is service given to these children, and it has been overwhelming an experience as far as I am concerned. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. That was beautifully said. Now, my next question to you is, what is NAB's overall plan for the visually impaired community of Goa for the next 5 to 10 years?
We have a book which one of our committee members written, and that is Garden of Hope. And over there we have put out our vision. We would like to have a center for the blind, because we believe that the current premises is not adequate. We would like to have a much bigger center where we would be able to cater to more visually impaired who are in need, and also to the adult blind, because adult blind have limitations at their home front when they grow old and they are a burden to the family. But we would like to welcome them with open arms and ensure that we have a facility for them, so that they do not feel that they are not wanted. That is what we would like to do. We would like to ensure that each and every person who is with the disability of blindness is made independent, is able to work, and is able to contribute to the society, standing on his own feet.
My last question before we wind up is a very simple question to either one of you, and that is, we have heard so much about NAB Goa and what you all do. Now, to our viewers, a very simple question is, if we want to collaborate with NAB Goa in any way that we can, if we want to make maybe some kind of donations or financial assistance, or just about give our time in aiding the visually impaired at your premises, can you share with us how and when we can do that?
It is first and foremost an open invitation to all those who are listening to us today to come and see us at the center and to see for yourselves personally what we do at the center. Secondly, we have a website which is www.nab.org, and if you go down over there, you will see our work. Also, there's a link to contribute, because I mentioned to you all that we solely depend on contributions from our well-wishers, from our benefactors, and certain companies who do CSR. We are registered with the government, and therefore we are allowed to take CSR contributions. So this is how we manage. We do not charge anything. We provide them a boarding facility, because children are staying far and wide, and they cannot travel and commute from their houses to the center. What we do is, there are certain few people who stay around the premises, and they come to us as day scholars. For the others, we have boarding facilities for them. So we provide them breakfast, lunch and dinner, and it is thanks to the contributions from all our well-wishers, and we would welcome anybody coming forward to donate for this good cause.
So there you heard it right here from the president of NAB Goa. Sirs, one last thing. What is your message to the community of visually impaired who are listening to the program right now, and to lay people all over Goa about NAB and about how we can help and aid the visually impaired?
As Joe has already mentioned, as to what we do at NAB, I would like to add just one point. The listeners, be aware that the blind, the visually impaired need your help. Be kind to them, because we even find today that in some buses, even if the visually impaired get into the buses, no one has the decency to offer them a seat. They allow them to stand. And now visually impaired do everything on their own. For example, some of them go to the university and they change buses. They come from something like 50 kilometers, but they change buses. So be nice to them, be a part of them, because they need our assistance. Also, one point is, while there is no age limit for the blind admission, we do not have boarders who are beyond 18 years old, because it is not permitted as per the law.
Thank you so much for that information. Before we go, there's one thing that I would also like to say is, for all of you out there and who are watching this program right now, you know where to come and whom to meet at the NAB Goa State premises. And if you want to make a difference, especially when it comes to the visually impaired, doing daily chores, for example, like ordering food online or using, a payment app, NAB Goa is offering computer courses for the same. We'd like to say a big thank you to both our esteemed guests over here, Mr. Joe Noronha, the president, as well as Mr. Richard Pinto, the secretary for NAB Goa. Thank you so much for being with us here at Doordarshan and giving us so much of insight to our viewers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Damien. It was a pleasure.
Likewise.
Thank you, Damien, and thank you, Doordarshan.